Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am so grateful to see this room packed with so many of you here tonight. Thank you for being here. My name is Sara Myers, and when I became President and CEO 3.5 years ago, it's gone fast, I was actually rejoining the Volunteer Center family. You see, 15 years ago, I had the pleasure of working for Dee Hicks, who many of you know as a treasured leader in our community. She served the Volunteer Center for 29 years before she retired. Many of you know she's quite a little woman in stature, but she left me very big shoes to fill. I partnered with our board on a 3-year strategic planning process so that we could gain a better understanding of the community's needs and how our organization could help address them. You see, the Volunteer Center has always been at the forefront of bringing people together to serve the most urgent community needs. 56 years ago, we began as a place that matched volunteers with organizations that needed those volunteers' time and talents. And that led to a relationship with the legal system. We provide a similar service to those with court-referred community service. We've also worked with teens, providing them an opportunity to build leadership skills through community service. Through the years, we saw other critical needs that were not being met and volunteers that passionately wanted to help, and so we created our own programs. Operation Teddy Bear provides a lesson in kindness and educational resources to those who need it most, and Food for Kids provides weekend meals to local families in need. These are 2 of our most popular programs, and they are volunteer-driven with a long history of, as we are tonight, celebrating kindness and empathy. And many of you have supported those over the years, and we are so grateful. In fact, I know many of you have joined with the more than 250 volunteers this past year who helped us pack and deliver 4,018 Operation Teddy Bear school bags with, wait for it, 60,000 items to first grade students at 36 local schools. I also know that many of you have personally dropped off donated food items to join with other donors in our community to donate thousands of pounds of food so that we could provide more than 30,000 weekend meals this past school year to local hungry families. We feel so incredibly lucky to be part of such a generous and kind community. Your generosity is what makes our programs possible. I also want to take a moment to recognize a very special group of supporters in attendance. I want to thank the many members of the Affinity Group, which are seated over here. Affinity was founded to support Operation Teddy Bear both financially and through volunteerism. We truly thank you for being at the heart of helping. The Affinity Group has also wholeheartedly embraced not only the various programs we've added over the years, but now our latest project and the reason we are all here tonight. During our strategic planning process, we heard loud and clear that our community is facing a devastating problem, and it's affecting the youth that we all know and love. Nationwide, there has been an unprecedented increase in anxiety, stress, depression, and suicide in our youth since 2012. In fact, the numbers are so alarming that researchers all over are concerned, and they've all been searching why, what caused this, where is the change? In fact, the crisis has gotten so severe that here in LA County, 1 in 4 middle school students has contemplated ending their life. I want us all to let that sink in. 1 in 4. I can think of a lot of other things that they should be thinking about, and that should be the last thing on the mind of any teen. In addition, we've heard from colleges and HR managers who are overwhelmed trying to deal with this lack of resilience in their youngest recruits as they're entering adulthood. This problem is very complex, so we went out to the community and we asked, what do you think is causing this? And many of you in this room were a part of that process, and you, together with others, told us that you think what's causing the change is that it's a combination of screen time and social media addiction. In other words, the disconnect that happens when we all have our faces buried in these pieces of glass, combined with this unrelenting pressure to be perfect and keep up appearances at all costs. Teens are both isolating and not talking about their feelings, and this, I don't need to tell you, is not a good combination. Plus, unfortunately, there are just not enough mental health professionals to deal with this crisis, and frankly, our schools are overwhelmed. So, national experts are calling for community-based programs that will help teens before they reach the crisis point and get right in there at the root of the issue. Here's what they need. Teens need a place to be real, to connect face-to-face without judgment, and express themselves. But so far, there are very few evidence-based programs that are tackling this issue. And that's where we're coming in. First, our plan is to educate the community so we can all learn why we need to look up, we have to, and we need to really listen to the youth in our lives and help each other. Second, we're going to teach parents and caregivers how to gradually reduce screen time. We know they're here to stay, but we've all got to gradually reduce it so that we can reconnect our families. And most important, we have also completely revamped our teen program that we will pilot this fall with your support here tonight. This new teen program was designed with input from local teens themselves, thanks to a partnership with the Torrance South Bay YMCA. We learned from the students themselves that they are desperate for our help, and they told us they want programs outside of the school setting at places like the Volunteer Center. We've created a program that will take place over 9 weeks to help local high school students learn more about this link between their screen time usage and their mental health. And we will teach them more effective coping skills and support them in managing the pressure, stress, and anxiety that they are feeling. Well, actually, we're all feeling, really. It will also help them build more empathy towards each other and realize that they're not alone in their feelings and experiences. You see, they've done studies, and the more screen time, the less empathy. That's not good for an organization like ours and for all of us. Our goal is to give students a safe, neutral place where they can just be themselves and escape this constant pressure and stress. A place where they can talk and really be heard. A place where they can ask questions anonymously if they wish and get the support they really need. We believe that this new model is not only going to be exceptionally helpful here, but it's going to set an example for other communities. But you don't have to take my word for it. Here to speak with you tonight about how important this is are two South Torrance High School students, Antaky and William Brandt.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here tonight. We first encountered the Volunteer Center when Sara and her team came to Torrance South Bay YMCA to ask our Youth Advisory Council and various other Y teens how teenagers are dealing with anxiety, depression, and suicide in their communities. The data they shared with us, while alarming, unfortunately wasn't anything new. It's just kind of become the new normal. Everyone is suffering, and with little to no resources to deal with their problems, many students seem to have given up.
For example, last summer, unfortunately one of our friends died by suicide on his way to his sophomore year in high school. We've also heard of other attempts at various South Bay middle schools and high schools this year. We want you to know that this is not just data or just isolated to our own communities. That these are real students across the entire country begging for someone to reach out for help.
As kids, we're used to not being heard, so we were impressed with how the Volunteer Center team listened to us, and how from our own input and hours of research, they have compiled and developed a program that we believe will actually really help us and other teams in the community.
I wanted to share a personal example of their commitment to us and other youth from a couple months ago when I created a team for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention Out of the Darkness Campus Walk in honor of my friend who passed away. Sarah and Liz joined my team and walked with us. I think that it was a great way to show their compassion for the problems that we are facing. One issue we've all talked about in terms of problems facing our youth is how students don't know how to face things that are uncomfortable, and we often suppress our emotions and avoid it by looking at our phones. We feel strongly that no one is teaching students how to successfully express and manage emotions, but from the preparations we've seen so far for this new program, we see that it is imperative to provide these resources for teens.
We are going to need so many more of these types of programs, so we really hope it will help the Volunteer Center pilot this first one, so we can start getting them to as many teens as possible. When you donate tonight, you will really be investing in our mental health, and you could actually save a life from a teen that we know. Thank you guys for your time and support this evening for a very important cause. Have a good night.